everybody, it's your boy HP Maharaja, and today is Friday. I was actually working from home. Decided to come out a little bit out of the shell. Went to eat with a friend, and then went down to the beach because, I was like, you know what, maybe I need to reflect on some things and enjoy that vibe. So I actually went down to the beach, enjoyed the waves crashing. I mean, it was a nighttime, but there was a lot of Christmas lights and all, so it was kind of interesting and nice to see, relaxing. Then I went to the gym. The gym was closing at 10 o'clock, and right now it's 10:08, December 15th. I just had to get a quick workout in, and now I'm going home. So that's sort of the lowdown right there. And I want to talk a little bit about startups. I've been involved in a few startups, and I'm still part of a few startups. It's, you might think that was so like 5 or 10 years ago. No, startups is a concept that's gonna last forever because there's always going to be problems in the world, and that's the topic for this session here. Startups are meant to exist in order to look for solutions, alternatives, products, create products, solutions, ideas, concepts, prototypes, in order to ultimately do what? Solve a consumer's problem. Now there's different factors like, hey, how big the problem is and what's the market size for the problem, all that stuff. That's later. First identify whatever you're trying to do, your idea, your concept, your prototype, your product, your service, whatever you're trying to do. You have to identify, does it solve a problem? And it works in business, but as usual, I bring everything back to life. Because everything is all connected. Everything's all interconnected, whether you believe it or not. But when you solve a problem, right? It's that process of figuring out, okay, who has the problem? What type of person has this problem? What is it that the current product or potential solution is failing at doing? And then you identify, okay, how can we make it better? Or even better is, how can we make it so that the problem doesn't exist, period, right? Instead of, it's like saying that instead of putting a Band-Aid on, I don't know what the quote is, but I'm just thinking of a different analogy. Instead of doing, surgery for, the appendix, I think a lot of people do, the appendix bursts, so they have to do the surgery there. Instead of doing the surgery, just put a Band-Aid and you'll be fine, right on the outside. No, it doesn't work like that. And life doesn't, my bad. Life doesn't work like that either. You have to solve the problem as the problem is given, and not, say, hey, you know what, I have a different solution, but that solution that you think is a solution is not really a solution. It's just outer covering, and you won't last that long when you try to solve problems like that. Solve problems from the root. Try to figure out what exactly is causing people's pains, problems, situations, understandings, perspectives, point of views, all these different factors that come about. You have to understand from where this problem is arising. Then you can go about understanding how you can tackle that problem in whatever angle that you sort of visualize the problem being solved. So that's my 2 cents on the business side for today, startups, because it's an ever-going process. Like, a startup will come up with a prototype and it may solve that problem, but sometimes they create a product that solves a different problem than the initial problem that they tried to solve. In that case, they move that product and pivot their market to focus on the people who are actually relieved of their problems with the product that they create. So there's all these pivots that come into business, but essentially you have to be solving a problem, and that's what's most important here. And that's, basically the point of today. Just, take the time if you're working on a startup or whatever idea, prototype. I mentioned earlier is like speed to market is really important, and speed to testing the market is even more important. And this is the best way to do it, is get a prototype and try to solve a problem. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. HP Maharaja signing out. Peace and love. Jai ho, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, posts, whatever, put them in the comments below. I will read them and get back to you. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Peace.